two. 1, 2, 3.
You're a regular dream. I can see it runs in your family. Your mama's 32 and she's just as hot as you. This kind of thing could really drive me crazy. When I see your little sister, all I wanna do is kiss her. I hope that it's okay with you. Yeah, your grandma's 47, she's a real piece of heaven. Baby, this is what I wanna do. I want to marry your whole family and be your favorite daddy, your grandpa and your little brother too. Won't be just a sailor if I'm moving to your trailer. I wanna be the captain and the crew. I'll be the man around the house, the community spouse. Still I'm saving all my best for you. Yeah, the loving one is always fun, but loving four is so much more. And maybe we can keep it in the family. Like a paper bunny, yeah, I wanna be around you every day. Oh, I'm not complaining, but it's hard behaving when your mama's sunbathing in the nude. Little sister wants to tease me in her little red bikini. It's hard to keep my eyes on you. Yeah, then grandma comes along in a halter and a thong. Baby, this is what I wanna do. I want to marry your whole family and be your favorite dad, your grandpa and your little brother too. Won't be just a sailor if I'm moving to your trailer. I wanna be the captain and the crew. I'll be the man around the house, the community spouse. Still I'm saving all my best for you. Oh, loving one is always fun, but loving four is so much more. And maybe we can keep it in the family. To marry your whole family and be your favorite daddy, grandpa and your little brother too. I won't be just a sailor if I'm moving to your trailer. Wanna be the captain and the crew. I'll be the man in charge, tugboat and the barge. Still I'm saving all my best for you. Oh, loving one is always fun, but loving four is so much more. Baby, keep it in the family. Yeah, and after all the loving, introduce me to your cousin. 'Cause baby, ain't she family? Baby, ain't she family? Baby, ain't she family too?
And welcome to Cawffee Talk. I'm Mark Tullis, and this is my partner Kirsten Kuhlman.
Hello.
And it's New Music Monday.
And we were just listening to some live awesomeness that happened in our basement with the West Side Winders. And they are going to join us live in a couple of minutes or in 30 seconds actually, to talk to us about their music and their songs and all the rest of the stuff that is West Side Winders.
I'm going to sip my Dan
Your
Hatton,
Dan Hatton.
while
Yes.
we go to our sponsor, and then we'll come back and talk to the band.
We have Dan Hattons, yes. We'll explain that too. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, my name is Lynette Foss and I am the owner of Lyric and Lecture, and that is a talent agency here on the North Shore that specializes in educational speakers and also musicians and bands of all genres and all combinations. My goal is to help you find the perfect speaker or perfect music for your event, so I would love to hear from you if you have anything like that in the works. You can go to my website, lyricandlecture.com, and you can click on Contact Us, or you can contact me via Facebook, also Lyric and Lecture. I hope to hear from you soon, and let's work together to put an amazing event in place.
And we're back, and we're having Dan Hattons
That's right.
with the West Side Winders.
Yay!
Welcome, boys.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Who do
Thanks.
we have in our studio with
Could you-
us? Could you introduce yourselves real quick?
Yes, I am Dan Peters, lead singer and guitarist for the West Side Winders.
Kyle Olson, drums and backup vocals.
I'm Klem, the bass player.
Clem Hayes.
Thank you.
Clem has a last name. His name
Hayes,
is
Clem
Hayes.
Hayes,
I
right.
thought it was like Clem Share.
It is Klem Shear. That's exactly right, Mark. Thank you.
Boom.
I get you. I get you.
So the
Appreciate
the Dan Hattons are obviously a little offshoot of a Manhattan that Dan Peters makes. So
Signature
hence
drink.
The Dan Hatton.
It is-
Bravo, friend. I
Yes.
say bravo.
Thank
Yes,
you. Yeah,
yes.
even though you chose not to have one with us today.
And before you bust our chops, it may be 11 o'clock in the morning your time, but
Yeah.
we are actually
pushing
recording
2
this.
a.m. now,
Yeah, it's
'cause
Right.
we're,
been
so
just
we're,
jamming.
It's
we're
11:15
recording
here.
this show, and we're allowed to do this because it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So we're all good. Yeah. So we actually met Dan a while back. He's been here before. Dan was part of the Rock of Ages.
Oh, I have to tell my little story.
Yeah.
I was walking in and I was giggling because like the theater band was pretending to be warming up and stuff, and they were like, wow, they're really going all out pretending they're playing these backing tracks. And then about 3 songs in, I'm like, holy,
Those aren't backing
the band
tracks.
is
That's a real
playing
band.
all these songs.
Yeah.
Like and to really appreciate like the guitar parts, you know, so many different tones meddling into so many classic tunes, and I was really floored, and I was very distracted the rest of the show.
So
once
you were in
I
the audience in that
recognized-
show too, then?
I mean, it was,
I was in the audience, yes.
Right, they met at Rock of Ages. Dan was really impressed with the
I was
music.
sitting next to Mark, and I said, you know, they're really playing.
You know, these guys are a real band.
Yes, Dan Peters was playing.
Yeah, I think we
in
got
the
this.
show.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you know, you guys are all famous, right? Uh-huh.
Yep.
I heard that, I mean, Kyle loves a good sandwich. I heard that somewhere.
Kyle loves a good
I'm
sandwich.
always up for a good sandwich. I am.
What's your favorite sandwich, Kyle?
Man, this is pressure now. I mean, I'm always up for
Chipotle?
if I'm
or
just
do you like sushi? What do you like?
a sushi sandwich.
sushi
Yes, that's
What are you a fan of the
seaweed.
soup?
I thought it was a jam sandwich. 2 pieces of bread, jam them together.
Jam together.
There you go.
Yes, make any meal a sandwich. Make any sandwich a meal. I mean, at Jimmy John's, number 5 with hot peppers
no,
and kickin' ranch is like a. I know.
Really?
Dan, have Dan tell a story about Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's?
About
Yeah.
Jimmy
I
John's.
think I know where that's going, but go ahead, Dan.
Oh, I won't.
I know.
No.
Go with
I don't generally go to Jimmy John's just because of Dan. Because I
I
like
understand.
Oh.
I get it. I
So
know
we're
why.
not getting Jimmy John's as a
So you're not
sponsor.
gonna have a black rhino pastrami? Is that what you're not gonna have?
Yes. It's just the animals on the endangered
Yes,
species
right,
list.
exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Generally don't want to eat
That's
those.
my favorite. With the hot peppers and kickin' ranch.
Yeah.
Did you like
Black
the good
rhino.
sandwich?
Oh my God.
Well, tell us about this first song we just heard.
Yes, Keep It in the Family. Now that is hysterical. Where did that come from?
That, it's interesting because so many singer-songwriters, they write from the heart. They write songs that mean something to them or something that happened to them in their life. And that song is just completely made up. I thought it was funny. I wanted to write something that was funny. I'm not very deep, and I don't like ballads. I don't. So I've always been one of those guys that just likes high energy music. I like aggressive music, and I like to laugh.
And one day I was just sitting at my house, back when I had a townhouse in Glenview. I was playing guitar, and I came up with the guitar riff first, and the lyrics just came to me. Like any great song, I think a lot of songwriters will tell you that the best songs come fast. They almost write themselves. And it was that way with that song. I just had these great, funny ideas, for the young man who's very attracted to his girlfriend, who's 16, but also the mom, the grandma, and the little
and eventually
sister.
the cousin comes into that too at some point. Yeah.
And once I had the idea, all the funny little bits came pretty quickly after that, and I literally wrote it in about 10, 15 minutes. And to this day, it's the song that is most requested when we play, because people enjoy the lyrical content.
It is funny, yeah. It is really, really funny. It's a funny song.
The first time I heard it, I was very uncomfortable. Today I felt a little funny afterwards. So I don't.
Don't take it so seriously. Yeah. Just,
Felt funny like Garth.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
You
like,
kind of
I
funny.
feel
was sitting
funny.
on this-
Exactly
lap.
like that.
sitting on Santa's lap.
So that song is kind of, you're defining a bit of a genre. Can you just how do you describe the band and where that song comes from and how it fits in with your general body of work?
That's a very good question. Thank you.
Mark.
One.
That's
Mark's
right.
a musician. Can you
Comic
tell?
relief, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Klem Bake. I had done about a 3-year stint with a swing band back in the late 90s that was very popular. We used to play at the Green Mill every Tuesday, and we had just steady gigs, and that whole swing craze was just a happening thing at the time. People going out dancing. Brian Setzer was really big at the time, and there was several other bands. The movie Swingers kind of pushed that whole scene, and so I was there at the right time, and so it was a 10-piece band, 5 horns, and that really kind of, I delved into that whole sort of genre because a lot of the rockabilly people were hugely into the swing scene. It was kind of interchangeable.
Swing dancing with tattoos.
Yes, swing. Yes, that's
With tattoos
exactly
and
what it was.
cowboy
And everyone
boots,
would, the girls would wear cocktail dresses, and the guys had pompadours and old vintage suits. So that kind of had me in that frame of mind. And when the band broke up in the early 2000s, it felt like a natural extension to sort of put together, I almost want to say a Stray Cats type of band, a 3-piece rock band with a lot of roots rock influences, rockabilly, but also blues, because I was a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. And then I grew up on heavy metal, so a lot of guitar playing in the band is very aggressive, hard-edged.
Yeah, so it has those elements, but it's also more aggressive.
Yes.
The band
Yes.
can go into those areas.
Exactly. It's not really a rockabilly band. It's a rockabilly influenced band. And I think and this is before Kyle joined the band and way before Klem. Clem's only, how old are you, Klem? 14?
16.
12?
I don't have
18?
that many fingers. Yeah, it's
Yes.
right.
But once we found that direction, the material came together pretty quickly. And it was easy to choose great cover songs to do, songs like Poke Salad Annie and Not Fade Away, which we give it a little bit of an Allman Brothers-esque jam quality to those tunes. And then the original songs came pretty quickly because I kind of had that genre to use as a template to write. We did the first album with a different bassist and drummer. And then we did the second album, which I felt was even stronger in that realm, and different bassist and drummer. and then finally, the year after we released the second album, what about 2007? Or 2006 you joined the band?
It was right. I played the album release party.
You played the album?
It was my first gig, so.
The guy who played on the second album was not actually a member of the band. We wanted to release this music, so we hired a guy who did a great job. Greg Marsh.
Greg Marsh, great drummer.
Yeah. And then Kyle joined, and everything was set because Kyle sings great backing vocals, which is a huge part of that It just adds a lot of depth to the 3-piece sound.
Yeah.
Hold on to
Yeah.
that.
So There you go. Does that
Thank
answer?
yeah,
What
that's
was the
totally.
question?
Yeah.
Wait,
What
what are you talking about?
What was I talking
Did
about?
he just start talking out of the blue?
I did.
We were defining genres.
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about the Game of Thrones finale. But
Shoe sizes.
Klem, I wanted to jump in, bass player to bass player. I didn't get to tell you, but wow, I love your playing. It's really cool. And I know personally that feel of music is not always easy to get into. Certainly, like to make the energy and the swing and everything happen. Sometimes I've seen a lot of bass players just roach it totally. Can you? For some up and coming bass players,
And he
can you
did
just-
not roach it.
Could you? Might have taken me
did not.
one go around, you know. But
Fool him again.
yeah, could you give a little insight into like what it takes to make some of those bass parts come together?
Well, I think you don't think about it too much. I mean, don't overthink it. When I start thinking, I start roaching, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but Kyle is so easy to play with. I'm so tempted to look at you, Mark, but I
Don't look over
Don't
here.
look over here.
don't do it.
I mean, because I know
I'm
you.
looking at him there.
Right.
Yeah.
When he took his pants off.
Right, I know.
Seriously?
He's trying to distract us.
Just
But
know we're looking
it's with
into
the
your
clown
soul from
shoes.
here.
Right.
It's like,
I know.
why the shoes?
Right. And just the tie. And just the tie.
So the Danhattans are now starting to take effect.
I just play music. I really don't. I don't know really what to say other than not to make it too complicated, because I think that's what can kind of get in the way. It gets in the way for me.
Now you played some classic country music, right? So this isn't that far of a departure from you.
I have played
Yeah.
classic. Yeah, I had a band in the '80s or '70s, or no, it was the '80s, and we called it. Well, it was the Chicken Skins, but that was after a band called Chicken Skins. That's what it was, and we did kind of classic country. We did sort of deep cuts with some ballad pickers.
Was this a Quad City band?
No, it was here in Chicago.
Oh, it was?
We played
nice.
several shows, but with John Rice and Ollie O'Shea and
okay.
some great, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
damn.
so yeah, and then I played some other country music too. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think makes a rockabilly song happen?
Three syllables.
Whiskey.
Yeah, you know,
Wait.
They're over there, Kyle. They're right
I
there.
see them right through there. Yeah, playing rockabilly drums. Like when I joined this band, I actually switched the way that I set up the drums. I ended up moving my rack tom to be a second floor tom, so I kind of went with like a flat setup, which was somewhat inspired by a bunch of things. One of them being Questlove, who was a big influence on me growing up, with his kind of simple setup, and that really, if you want to make music, it's really about this and not about all of the extra, all the extra stuff. And I knew when I joined this band that
It's not a drum set in a cage.
right, and I knew that like when I was gonna join this band that like it was really all about playing here and being right on the beat and just making that. And if we needed to do a fill, I needed to reach for it, and that was all. And it was more important about just keeping the groove and the three of us just locking in. So that was just
For our
what-
audio podcast participants, playing here was the hi-hat gesture
yes,
he made.
hi-hats,
And snare.
Yeah.
snare, kick
Yeah.
was where it's at, and that's
You do it
the heart of
good.
it.
You do it good.
Thank you.
That was real good.
It was really good.
It's real pretty.
Yeah, so you guys, we are stoked that the West Side Winders are coming to Highwood. We're going to be featuring them 2 nights for Nashwood. So that's a treat. It really is incredibly fun music. And it's country, so, you know.
It's country, it's a billy.
Country, it's a billy, it's a rock, it's a rockabilly, it's a shredabilly. So.
There might be a special surprise I heard in the plans.
Oh yeah, we haven't
We
told them
don't tell
that.
any. We won't tell
No,
anybody
we
yet.
haven't told the band that yet.
Oh,
The
surprise.
band doesn't know.
We have to
even.
talk to you
We have
about
to talk
something
to you
later.
guys. Yeah, we have to tell you about something later.
It's a little promotional, and so
Yeah.
So
we know
it's
you guys are
fun.
sophisticated marketers, and so we rely on you to do things that we ask you to.
So Ron
We're in.
Jeremy's going to be there?
Close. Yeah, you're not far off, Dan. You're not far
Oh
off.
boy.
Wow.
No, well, it's all good. It's all good. We'll you guys will all be surprised. It'll be a wonderful surprise, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So look for these guys coming end of August. It's August 30th and 31st.
Yep. Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Nashwood.
And we will announce schedules, etc. later, but they are coming Friday and Saturday. So
Fellas, tell them how they can find you on the internets.
How can they find us on the internet? Our website is westsidewinders.com. And it's a little bit of a mouthful, West Side. It used to be just the Sidewinders, as it says on our first album, but we found out that there were many other The Sidewinders bands. So we wanted to head that off and change it and yet still sort of keep it the same. So
West
it became the
Side.
West Sidewinders. And 3 words, though, West Sidewinders. But the website, westsidewinders.com. And we're in a little bit of a hiatus right now. We haven't played in a few months, so we're looking forward to bringing it back. We've got some shows in August, and then we'll be finishing the month at Nashwood, which
Yay.
was a blast last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Dan was like molested by a lot of
Oh,
really
yes,
drunk Phillies.
enthusiastic.
Yeah,
What is that verb? that you
drunk
just used?
Phillies that
Molestered.
totally molested. He's there with the fan blowing on his hair, and all the chicks decided that was really cool. So they just kind of danced,
Everybody likes fans.
shimmied right over there, and started dancing.
Biggest fan.
Yeah, Poor
It's
Dan.
very hard for me to keep my cool sometimes, especially when I'm trying to tear down equipment and
Yes,
drunk people are all over me. And,
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Yeah.
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 Yes. You have to have some people skills.
Yes. Or a bodyguard. Yeah.
Mark?
We will
bounce
yes,
for you.
we'll
We
make
got
some
it.
assurances. Yes. You'll be certainly safe on the solo stage.
Okay, good.
No problem.
Now, we have another live in-studio treat for everybody. This is
That's
so
right.
cool that the band just came down here to lay out their new music for us in person. So,
Yeah, this next song is called Slick Black Cadillac
Slick
Daddy?
Black Cadillac Daddy.
Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah. How did that song originate? Where did that one come from?
That's another completely made up song, but there's a sort of a long history of in rockabilly. Gene Vincent was a guy, and several others where there's some sort of where the Satan plays a character in the song, and Gene Vincent has a song called "Race with the Devil," and it's in blues. A lot of blues music, that whole mythology of the battle with good and evil, or the battle with Satan, or the devil is after you. And so it was just once I kind of followed that path, it was easy to put together of just, it's a drag race. That rockabilly theme, drag races, and the guy is having a drag race with the devil. He's in the other car, and the lyrics just kind of followed suit pretty easily. My dad was a lifetime mechanic. So, and he, collects vintage cars.
Oh, cool.
So I talked to him about just some of the terminology that I could possibly use, and he actually helped me. Some of the words that I use in the song, he helped me come up with a lot of what I was able to add to the lyrical content.
Oh, that's
so.
cool. That's a neat story. Very cool.
well, it's almost midnight, and Kyle has, this thing with parole and stuff.
Yeah, his ankle bracelets.
His ankle bracelet.
Exactly. They're going to be calling me.
Colors.
That's right.
I've got to get it back on and get back in the house.
Oh, God.
Yes. For those of you watching this on Facebook, we're also on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. And you can find all the information on coffeecupproductions.com.
Right.
Thank you so much,
for
fellas,
coming
for
in, you
coming
guys.
out.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
really
Thanks.
fun, and we are going to go out with another one of their kick-ass tunes and come out in August and enjoy the band. It's a good time. So, thanks for
right.
coming, guys.
She knows
Thanks,
of which
thank you so much for having us. Kyle, you're
Cheers.
in your
Thank you, Mark.
Grindr address?
Yes. Yes. It's at
Revving up that engine, 214 at speed. Custom built with 2 quads, he's always in the lead. The diamonds on his fingers match that custom caddy shine. But it'll be enough to blind when you see those French headlights. I think you want adventure, but please turn the other cheek. If you try to race him, you'll go down in misery. Slick back Cadillac daddy, chariot of doom. Slick back Cadillac daddy. Well, locked up for 11, top that channel glass. Grinning in your rear, you better let that candy pass. Behind that shade, hood and deck lid, a dark driver sits and waits. He decked out in a silk suit, but you can't quite see his face. I think you want adventure, but please turn the other cheek. If you try to race him, you'll go down in misery. Stick that Cadillac daddy, chariot of doom. Stick that Cadillac daddy. Face down in the dirt, and pulling up beside you are some custom fender skirts. Step down from his carriage, tell you to behold, cause he doesn't race for pink slips, he's just come back for your soul. I think you want adventure, but please turn the other cheek. If you try to race him, you'll go down in misery. Like that, chariot of doom. Slick back and like that.
Did you get all that? That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great take.
That was awesome.
Always hit record. Always hit record.
Oh, shit.
Coffee Talk is a Coffee Cup Productions podcast. Find our video podcasts on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, coffeecupproductions.com. Audio podcasts can be downloaded from Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Search for Coffee Talk, CAWFFEETAWK, Coffee Talk.
Thank you so much for having us. Kyle, you're in your grinder address?
Yes. Yes. It's at drums.
I beat to my own drum.com.
Beat my own drum.
That's it.
If you leave out that one preposition, it's really different, isn't it?